Hi, I'm Brooke Williamson, and today we're talking about Gremolata. Gremolata is a great way to impart some extra flavor or texture into almost anything. It's an incredibly versatile component that's super simple to make. Traditionally, Gremolata consists of garlic, lemon zest, and parsley. But what we're adding today is some chopped pistachios. Pistachios are one of my favorite nuts. They're very specific in flavor, also hold their texture really nicely. I'm using some toasted pistachios, so we'll get a nice crunch, and then I'm gonna add some olive oil so that we can just drizzle this over whatever we're gonna use it on. All we need to do to this garlic is chop it up. I'm gonna go ahead and just smash it to get it out of the skin. Peel that. Because this recipe is so simple, I do want to pay attention to every individual component. In the case of the garlic, every garlic comes with a little nub at the top. Sometimes when you're pureeing garlic, it doesn't really matter, but in this case, we're literally just mincing or chopping or smashing the garlic. So I want to make sure to take that little hard end off. So I'm going to just discard that. These are already smashed, so I'm going to go ahead and just start chopping. And I want to finely chop this. You could also do this on a grater, but I like the texture of a slightly smashed, or just releasing all the flavor. The more surface area you get out of minced garlic, like the smaller the chop or the smaller the mince, the more flavor you get out of it. So if you just smash it, you're getting a hint of garlic. If you finely mince the garlic, you're getting all surface area, and you get a ton of flavor. At this point, I have a rough chop, right? But I mean, this is a garnish. We're using it as raw garlic, so I want to make sure I don't have any large garlic pieces. I'm going to turn this into almost a paste, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt in here and smash it. The salt is going to help keep that garlic in place, and it's also going to break down the garlic a little bit, sort of almost cook it or cure it so that it's slightly less pungent. This garlic is starting to slightly sweat. It becomes almost a little bit sticky because of the addition of that salt. And then I'm going to plop this right into a bowl. And we're just going to start building flavor into this bowl. So starting with garlic as the first component, and then straight into this bowl, I'm going to zest a lemon. And I'm just going to grate this right over the bowl. The aromatics of this lemon peel are really what give this gremolata the sort of zing, and it's a great way to add a touch of citrus without adding a bunch of acid. You get all of the flavor of the lemon without any of the juice. I'm going to do the entire lemon here, and you just want to take that outside layer. That layer underneath the very outside super yellow layer is called the pith, and that starts to get really bitter. That lemon is still totally usable for anything that you want to use lemon for, except for, of course, the zest. Next, I'm going to move toward my parsley. I'm using Italian parsley, and I'm just going to sort of twist this all together, create a tight little bundle here, and then push it down. Of course, tuck your fingers, and then give it a nice little chop. I'm going to discard the stems, and then pull out any stems that you see. This is going to be sort of a delicate topping, so you don't want large pieces of stem in there. And then, just like you did your garlic, go ahead and run your knife through this parsley a couple of times. Doesn't need to be a super fine chop, but you do want to make sure you don't have any whole large leaves of parsley here. When you see that you don't have any large chunks anymore, that's kind of it. Add that to my bowl of flavor. The twist that makes this gremolata sort of special or interesting or different than all of the gremolatas you may have seen is the addition of chopped pistachios. So you could go ahead and just run your knife through these pistachios. I actually like to use a small flat saute pan to crush pistachios. I just think it's a really easy, clean way to crush nuts. And I'm just taking the corner here and applying pressure until I can feel them sort of pop underneath the base of the pan. So you can see that you get a nice sort of even crush, and then you can go ahead and run your knife through them afterwards, and you don't have pistachios flying all over the cutting board. To me, this is the fun part. I love smashing pistachios. So now you can see I've already taken care of 90% of the chopping just with the bottom of a pan. And then I just want to make sure that I don't have any giant pieces of pistachio in here. Seasoning, we're just seasoning with salt and pepper. If you're using a pre-seasoned nut, if your pistachios are already roasted and salted when you buy them, no need to add any salt. Again, seasoning is a matter of preference as well. So I'm going to add even these sort of dusty pieces at the bottom, tons of flavor in there. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. You see how beautiful that is already? So this is sort of a great way to add a crouton-ish topping, a touch of crunch. But what's going to bind this all together is the addition of some extra virgin olive oil. Make sure you're using good extra virgin olive oil that you want to eat. This isn't the time to use your canola oil. This is the time to use your good oil. You could make this as loose or as tight as you want, depending on what you're serving it on. We're going to serve this on top of a braised short rib. So I want to make sure that it's nicely coated with olive oil so that we can sort of drizzle it all over the top of the short rib. But look at that, like, beautiful, glossy, green crumble that we're going to put on top of that short rib. This would be really good to serve on top of halibut. Honestly, probably the most versatile condiment in my repertoire of condiments. You get the punch of lemon, the freshness from the lemon, you get the nuttiness, the freshness from the parsley and the garlic, a little bit of heat from that garlic. It's absolutely delicious and I can't wait to use it.